Good morning, my beautiful people. Listen, today is Money Making Monday. First of all, I woke up so grateful. I woke up so excited, and y'all, it's Monday. It is Monday. So let's go ahead and get into the video. I decided to pull to the side real quick in the middle of me running errands because I wanted to get this video out. But anyways, so at 24 years old, I walked away from my 9 to 5 for good. Yes, I said 24 years old. Listen, for good. And it wasn't because I got lucky, you know, I did came up on some money in the lottery and I ended up making it shimmer shake for a little bit. That's rich, because you know, when you rich, your money coming is gone. But I was able to build real wealth, okay? But it was through trading in the stock market, and it's a strategy that a lot of people don't really know about. I took a different path, okay? The strategy is not day trading. It's trading, but it's not day trading. We don't have to, you know, I don't have to read charts or use indicators or trade risky or anything like that. Now, my different path is a strategy where you're buying the shares and then you're trading it. So you're an investor and you're making an income on top of your investment, right? And so one thing that kept popping in my head this morning, like, girl, what the heck did you do that was different? The thing that was different is I decided I wanted to do better. When you decide you want to do better, you get better results, okay? But before we get into the video, those of you who are not new, those of you who are new here, I want to give an opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Paris Smith, and I was able to retire myself from the 9 to 5 at 24 years old, and I never looked back. And I was able to do that through trading in the stock market. So this very strategy that I'm talking about right now, in fact, I started as a complete beginner. When I say I knew nothing about the stock market, I knew nothing about, I didn't even know what the U.S. stock market was. Well, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know what a stock was. I didn't know what a share was. I didn't know none of this stuff. And I simply dove deep, started studying. When I say, once I learned this particular trading strategy, I was all in. And I didn't stop because I knew this was going to be that thing that get me out of my 9 to 5. But anyways, if you're interested in learning more about this strategy, I am having a free masterclass, a free stock trading masterclass coming up this week. The link is in the description. Feel free to register and I will see you there. We're just going to break down, you know, everything you need to know. What stocks to choose, how to make it low risk, how to get that consistent, reliable income every single week or every single month, and all that good stuff. But the trading strategy is so dope. This is a strategy where you're consistently making a consistent amount every single week that you trade. Now, I trade every week. I trade on Mondays. That's why I'm lit today. Yeah, my Mondays are lit now. Even when I was working at 9 to 5 and trading, my Mondays were lit, okay? Because I had a whole blueprint. Yeah, I said I was out of this job, okay? I had a whole blueprint. I call it my Freedom Day plan. Yep. But anyways, actually today, I'm having a call with my students. We're talking about the Freedom Day plan. It's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. Like how I put the whole plan together and to like piece out. I knew the exact date that I was leaving my job. And it was a 3-year plan. But I stuck to the 3-year plan. Literally every single day I was reviewing the plan, just making sure I was staying on, you know, on task and stuff like that. But anyways, this morning, y'all, I woke up feeling so good because I had like a little reflection moment this morning. And I was thinking how, you know, like today's job market is a little crazy. You know, who would have thought that government positions, government jobs would be unstable, or something would happen to basically those type of jobs, right? People, they think that the government is real stable, at least those type of positions and everything like that. So if you go into the government, you good for a minute. You can retire, stay there for the rest of your life and all that good stuff. But when I woke up this morning, I started reflecting. I said, at this point, I feel like y'all about to get on me in the comments, but it's okay. But I said, I feel like a 9-to-5 job in today's market should be the backup plan. Like it should be secondary. When I say, once I started to do better, I started to see better results. A lot of y'all not spending time trying to, make yourself better, make your future better. A lot of people, they work, they try to make it up the corporate ladder. They're trying to kiss their boss' tail. That's what they're trying. They're trying to do for others and do all these amazing accomplishments, but it's not really for them. It's really for the boss. You making money in their pocket, not your pocket. You growing their company, not your own, or not your own income, or not your whatever it is that you have a desire for. And so I said, you know what? I feel like today's people need to start making an income, their 9-to-5 income, their secondary income, their 9-to-5 income, their backup plan income. So anyways, but with this trading strategy, I just remember how I used to feel so burnt out, and I was like, yo, I gotta make this work. Now, I started learning 10 years ago. The strategy is called cover calls, and if you didn't know. And so I started studying this strategy about 10 years ago, almost 11 years ago now. And when I learned that it can get me out of a lot of things. It can get me out of this burnout that I'm experiencing at my 9-to-5. And a lot of y'all know and understand what burnout feels at work. For my personal experience, it was waking up, really, really early. And the fact that I had to get myself together. The thing was, somebody calling me. The thing was, I was juggling a whole lot. Yo, I was so stressed out. First of all, my job was really far from my house, and I had to commute so far to the DC area. Let me do one of these, because it's my mama calling me. That's my mama. But anyways, just feeling so burnt out and commuting to work, and it was so far. And then I had to wake up really early at like 5 in the morning, and then I would wake up so sick because I'm juggling this chronic disease called juvenile type 1. It was just a lot. Then I get to work, and I got all these tasks on my to-do list. And I'm already feeling burnt out because I've been doing this thing every single day. Weekends is not enough. My weekend breaks was not enough. First of all, Saturday was like the only weekend break I could get, because Sunday is like the reset day. Sunday is like where I'm overcome with anxiety because I know that tomorrow's coming, and tomorrow's Monday. And it's the start of the work week. What they call it? The Sunday scaries, the Sunday blues, all those things. Yo, I had a reflection this morning about my burnout. And how this morning, my alarm clock was on 6:30 this morning. I set my alarm for 6:30 this morning now. I did snooze a lot this morning. I snoozed 4 times, and I got up close to 7:30-ish. I snoozed a lot. But it's the fact that I set my alarm at 6:30, and I got to take my time to get up. I set my alarm clock at 6:30, and although at 7:30 I popped up like it was nothing, it's the fact that I get to pop up and I don't have to utilize my time for something else. I got to pop up and take my time this morning to get dressed. I got time to sit down and look at my agenda book. What am I doing this week? looking at my today's to-do list. I have my sister in town, so we about to have it up this whole week. Trying to make sure we go out and we experience all the things that we talked about. That's how my Mondays look right now. Now, if I was really exhausted and my body I feel a little sluggish, I feel a little sick. Now, that doesn't happen often anymore by the goodness of the good Lord. But let's say this morning, if I happen to get up at 6:30, alarm going off, and my body don't feel right, I'm chilling. I'm going to relax. Because it's the fact that I don't have a boss. I don't have a job to commute to. There's nothing. I have nothing. I have the freedom to choose what I want to do every single day. And so that was my reflection. And like, the cool thing is, like, I'm going to tell y'all some key points towards the end on like what really separated me from a lot of people and how I was able to really like fire my boss. I mean, I said a few things already, like creating my Freedom Day plan, because you can do that with this trading strategy, which is so cool. But what was I saying? I just forgot my thought, but it's okay. It's okay. So anyways, what really, that's what I wanted to talk about. Let me clarify real quick what retired means. Okay. Now, a lot of people, they tell me, girl, retiring at 24, I could never retire at 24. And sometimes it's so hard for me to get people to understand that it's not like I'm retired and I'm doing absolutely nothing. Like, it's not, I'm retired and I'm sitting on my tail all day because I don't gotta work for the money, right? Now, what I mean by retired, I mean like freedom of time, freedom of choices, and freedom of income. So the cool thing about this trading strategy, your income is not capped or anything. If you want to make, let's say, $5,000 to free you from your 9 to 5, you can create that. And and all you have to do is get a plan in place and all that stuff. And you have to just stay on track. You trade every single week, every single month, however your strategy is. And you reinvest, and you reinvest, and you reinvest, and you keep growing your account. You keep buying more shares. You keep trading. So your income isn't capped at all. Once you make your 5,000, you like, all right, I'm out. You create a whole nother income goal. Let's say 10,000. You can do that too. You do the same thing. It's a whole blueprint. It's a whole strategy to it. But that's what I love the most about it is our income is not capped. Now, your 9 to 5 joint cap. You might get a little increase, maybe 2%, 1%, maybe. You might get a little bump up in your pay based on, today's rates of whatever industry you're in. Because I know when I was working, every year I would get a little bump up. But that was it. That's all I got. I got little bump ups. Of course, I got like my bonuses. If I won any awards, I get a little bonus, stuff like that. But with trading, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. And I would never forget when I first left my 9 to 5 and I was making my living expenses. And the first thing I did was pay off all my debt. Then I started making my living expenses. I started reinvesting, growing my income. And then in 6 months, I was already at 6 figures in annual income. It was the best feeling in the world. And so I kept going, and I had about a little over, 6 months in, I had a little over, probably about like 8 months to go before I left my job. Because I said July 2nd, 2021, I will leave my 9 to 5. And so 6 months in to me trading as a complete beginner, my account was at 6 figures in annual income. So I was like, if I just keep going, like my mind was just so blown away. And so since then, July 2nd, 2021, that's all I've been doing. The stock market pays my bills. The stock market pays for my travel expenses. The stock market allows me to invest into other things, which is so cool. I never thought that the trading, the strategy, cover calls would be like the catalyst to all these amazing things in my life. Like, I used it as a stepping stool. That's what I like to call it. It was like a little stepping stool. You know, it was like a little tool, right? Like, I started trading. It freed me up. Didn't have to work a 9 to 5 anymore. And you know, like, when you don't spend all your time working for the boss, you can spend more time building yourself up or whatever it is, right? And so that's what I did. I trade. My bills was covered. I had nothing but time. I utilized my time and started businesses. I started investing into real estate. And over time, all of that starts to accumulate. Now, it's been 4 years now since I left my 9 to 5. And when I say I'm starting to see the fruit from every single thing, I'm starting to see the fruit from investments, multiple investments. I'm starting to see the fruit from investing into businesses and watching the fruit from that. Like multiple streams of income from that. I'm starting to see my trading account. That thing blew up through the roof. Okay, I will never go back to a 9 to 5 ever again based on that. And then it's just so many things, like the opportunities, the open doors. It's just endless. And the catalyst was starting to trade the strategy to make that consistent income. Then I started to pay off my debts. Then I started to grow my income. Then I was at 6 figures in 6 months. And then I left my job, still trading the strategy, paying for my expenses and all the things, and then birthing businesses, investing into real estate, and the rest is history. So that's all I wanted to come on here and talk about, though. I just had so many reflection moments this morning. Like, I woke up so early, and it feels different. I wake up, I hear the birds chirp, and the birds, it just sounds so beautiful. I wake up and the sun is just all in my eyes, and it just feels so good. I get to wake up, and instead of hopping out of bed, I can sit in bed and pray for as long as I like. I would never forget when I would go to work and I would rush in the morning and I would feel so sick and I couldn't make breakfast and I had to get McDonald's or fat fast food is what I like to call it. And all unhealthy and stuff like that, just to get to work, and, you know, I'm busy all day and neglecting my health and kissing the boss tail. I will never forget going to work. I used to set a timer for 15 minutes and I would pray in the car before I go in. And I used to be so upset that I was capped. Like, I just wish I could just talk to the Lord a little bit longer. But I was capped and I had to get up and go in and clock in. But now it's the fact that sometimes when I wake up in the morning and I start praying, I will be praying for like 45 minutes. And I'll be like, God, dang, it was almost a whole hour and I'm praying. But it feels so good that I could just wake up. I can actually hear the birds chirp now. Just hear them. I can actually just feel the sun on my skin for a little bit. Look out the window for a little bit. Pray to the good Lord for a little bit. Then I can get up. And if I don't feel good, I stay in bed. Because that is freedom. That is freedom to choose. That is freedom of time. That is freedom of income. So I'm going to tell y'all real quick my 3 biggest key principles. So the first one, which is really important if you're someone that's like trying to leave your 9 to 5, or you just want better for yourself. Maybe you want to create another stream of income, something like that. Now, the biggest key principle that I would say is, or I would give you or share, is to learn some type of high income producing skill. Now, y'all know, of course, trading is one of those skills, but you don't have to day trade. And I want you to get that out your head. I want you to understand that to trade, you don't need charts. Okay, I'm sorry. I know y'all gonna come for me because y'all be coming for me on social media. talking about how you make a consistent income without reading charts or using indicators. And I want y'all to know she's right here. I want y'all to know she's right here. If I'm able to do it, you can do it too. Now, and how I teach,